The halls of Forrester Creations have long been a battlefield for matters of the heart, but the current atmosphere is thick with a toxic blend of corporate ambition and generational warfare. The relentless power struggle for the co-CEO chair has transformed the once creative sanctuary into a vicious arena where loyalties are tested and legacies are threatened. Brooke Logan has been aggressively campaigning to usurp Steffi Forrester Finnegan's position, driven by a radicalized Hope Logan who refuses to see her brand permanently shelved. Yet, just as Brooke's hostile takeover seemed to be gaining dangerous momentum, a chilling ghost from the past has re-entered the fray, fundamentally altering the trajectory of this corporate war. Taylor Hayes has returned, bringing with her an unprecedented, icy resolve that promises to shatter the Logan empire once and for all. The moment Taylor Hayes steps into the Forrester Creations CEO office, the temperature in the room seems to plummet to an absolute zero. Gone is the warm, empathetic psychiatrist who historically sought peace and healing for her fractured family. In her place stands a cold, calculating, and ruthless matriarch who has observed the escalating chaos from the sidelines and decided that the time for diplomacy has officially expired. Taylor's posture is rigid, her gaze unyielding, and her presence commands an immediate, suffocating silence. She does not enter the room to negotiate. She enters to execute a meticulously crafted strategy designed to surgically remove the Logan influence from the Forrester family legacy. This is a Taylor Hayes who has evolved beyond the tears and heartbreak of her decades-long rivalry, transforming her pain into a lethal weapon. The visual tableau within the CEO office is nothing short of cinematic perfection, a masterful representation of the shifting power dynamics that have defined these characters for over 30 years. Brooke Logan stands her ground, her initial confidence momentarily shaken by the sheer intensity of Taylor's unexpected arrival. Behind the grand executive desk, Steffi Forrester Finnegan lingers in the shadows, a triumphant, almost predatory smirk playing across her lips. Steffi has spent weeks enduring Brooke's relentless demands and Hope's insolent ultimatums, and now, she gets to witness her mother deliver the killing blow. The room is heavy with the weight of unspoken history, every glance loaded with decades of betrayal, stolen husbands, and shattered dreams. Taylor positions herself dead center, claiming the space as the ultimate arbiter of the family's future. Taylor's opening salvo is a masterclass in psychological warfare, striking directly at the core of Brooke's deepest vulnerabilities. With a voice devoid of any emotional fluctuation, Taylor declares that Brooke's insatiable ambition is systematically destroying Ridge Forrester's mental health. She paints a devastating picture of a man paralyzed by indecision, forced to navigate a daily minefield between the woman he loves and the daughter he is fiercely protective of. Taylor meticulously dissects Ridge's current state of desperate damage control, pointing out how Brooke's relentless push for the co-CEO chair has reduced the great Forrester patriarch to a coward, scrambling to appease two warring factions while his sanity fractures. It is a damning accusation, weaponizing Brooke's love for Ridge against her ambition, framing her as a toxic parasite. The brilliance of Taylor's psychological attack lies in its undeniable foundation of truth. For years, Ridge has been the ultimate prize in the endless tug-of-war between Brooke and Taylor, his emotional stability constantly compromised by his inability to make a definitive choice. Now, however, the battlefield has shifted from the bedroom to the boardroom, and the stakes are infinitely higher. Taylor diagnoses Brooke's pursuit of power as a manifestation of her deepest insecurities, a desperate need to solidify her dominance over the Forrester family in a way that a marriage certificate never could. By framing Brooke's corporate aspirations as a direct threat to Ridge's psychological well-being, Taylor effectively corners her lifelong rival, forcing Brooke to confront the collateral damage of her ambition. The clinical precision leaves Brooke momentarily speechless. But the psychological diagnosis is merely the prelude to the true devastation. Without a flicker of hesitation, Taylor delivers a cruel, uncompromising ultimatum that threatens to end the Logan legacy at Forrester Creations permanently. She demands that Brooke and her daughter, Hope Logan, pack their belongings and vacate the premises immediately. There is no room for negotiation. no possibility of a compromise, and no timeline for a gradual transition. Taylor's demand is absolute. The Logans must be purged from the building, their influence eradicated from the company's future. The sheer audacity of this demand sends shockwaves through the room, a bold declaration of war that fundamentally shifts the balance of power. Taylor is no longer asking for Ridge's heart. She is demanding the complete and total surrender of Brooke's professional and personal empire. To ensure compliance, Taylor plays her ultimate trump card, revealing that she possesses damning, irrefutable evidence of Brooke's past manipulations of Ridge. While the exact nature of this evidence remains shrouded in mystery, the implication is apocalyptic. Has Taylor uncovered a long-buried secret regarding Brooke's machinations to secure Ridge's loyalty? Does she hold proof of a deception so profound that it would shatter the foundational trust of the destiny Brooke so fiercely protects? The threat of exposure hangs in the air like a guillotine, a tangible manifestation of the skeletons Brooke has desperately tried to keep locked in her closet. Taylor makes it abundantly clear that if Brooke refuses to step down and leave the company, this evidence will be made entirely public, destroying her marriage, her reputation, and her standing in the fashion industry. The internal conflict that violently erupts within Brooke Logan is palpable, a visceral agony that threatens to tear her apart from the inside out. For weeks, she has been fueled by a radicalized determination, urged on by hope to reclaim their rightful place at the top of the Forrester hierarchy. She believed she was fighting a righteous battle against Steffi's childish tyranny, a crusade to save the hope for the future line and assert her own dominance. Now, that grand power play has hit a massive, potentially fatal roadblock. Brooke is suddenly forced to weigh the value of the co-CEO chair against the survival of her marriage. The realization that her ambition could cost her the man she has spent her entire life fighting for is a bitter, suffocating pill to swallow. The walls of the CEO office seem to close in on her as she desperately searches for an escape. Adding an excruciating layer of complexity to Brooke's dilemma is the inclusion of Hope in Taylor's devastating ultimatum. Hope was the catalyst for this entire corporate war, the one who pushed Brooke into the line of fire to save her stalled brand. Now, Taylor is demanding that both mother and daughter be exiled from the kingdom they helped build. Brooke's fierce maternal instinct clashes violently with her own self-preservation. If she fights Taylor and calls her bluff, she risks exposing the devastating evidence that could ruin her life. But if she capitulates, she is essentially sacrificing Hope's career and validating Steffi's condescending treatment of her daughter. The mother-daughter dynamic, once a source of unified strength, has now become a profound vulnerability that Taylor is mercilessly exploiting with clinical precision and absolute coldness. Throughout this harrowing confrontation, Steffi Forrester Finnegan remains a silent, lethal presence in the background, her triumphant demeanor speaking volumes. Steffi has spent weeks locked in a brutal, unyielding battle with Hope, arrogantly refusing to provide answers about the paused production line and treating the Logan women with unabashed disdain. Now, she doesn't even have to lift a finger to secure her absolute victory. Her mother has returned to act as the executioner, cleanly and efficiently removing the Logan threat from the board. Steffi's smug smile is a testament to her profound vindication. She views this moment not just as a corporate triumph, but as a generational victory, the ultimate proof that the Forrester women are inherently superior to the Logans. The satisfaction radiating from Steffi is almost tangible, a dark celebration of collapse. The psychological warfare unfolding in this office is the breathtaking culmination of a 30-year rivalry, a masterclass in soap opera storytelling that honors decades of complex character history. Taylor Hayes and Brooke Logan have fought over men, over children, and over moral superiority, but this confrontation feels remarkably different. It is stripped of the hysterical tears and passionate pleas of their youth, replaced by a cold, calculating pragmatism that is terrifying to behold. Taylor's evolution from a perpetual victim of Brooke's romantic conquests into an apex predator willing to use blackmail to protect her family is a stunning character shift. She has weaponized her analytical mind, turning her psychiatric expertise into a tool of corporate extortion. Brooke, conversely, finds herself stripped of her usual defense mechanisms and emotional crutches. Brooke Logan now stands at the most agonizing crossroads of her entire life, a terrifying precipice where every possible choice leads to catastrophic loss. If she chooses to fight for the co-CEO chair, defying Taylor's ultimatum, she risks the immediate and total destruction of her marriage to Ridge. The exposure of her past manipulations would shatter the fragile trust they have managed to rebuild, potentially driving Ridge right back into Taylor's waiting arms. However, if she surrenders, if she packs up her office and drags hope out the door, she is relinquishing her legacy. She would be handing Steffi the ultimate, uncontested power over Forrester Creations, validating every insult and condescending remark the younger woman has ever hurled at them. It is a choice between romantic survival and professional dignity, a zero-sum game with no victorious outcome. The ripple effects of this confrontation threaten to destabilize the entirety of Forrester Creations. If the Logans are successfully purged from the building, the highly lucrative hope for the future line would be left in absolute ruins. The sudden departure of Brooke, a foundational pillar of the company's history, would send shockwaves through the fashion industry, sparking rumors and plummeting morale among the staff. Carter Walton's prophetic warnings about the severe consequences of Ridge and Steffi's decisions are materializing in the most destructive way possible. Furthermore, the stark contrast between Taylor's current ruthless pragmatism and Brooke's emotional desperation creates a fascinating shift in the moral high ground. Is Taylor genuinely protecting Ridge's mental health, or is she simply executing a long-awaited revenge? The ambiguity is palpable. As the tension in the CEO office reaches a suffocating crescendo, the impending climax of this storyline promises to deliver some of the most explosive television of the year. How will Ridge Forrester react if he discovers that his mental health is being used as a bargaining chip in a corporate blackmail scheme? Will his historical tendency to run from conflict paralyze him further, or will he finally take a definitive stand against the toxic warfare destroying his family? Brooke's next move is the ultimate wild card. Known for her resilience and her refusal to back down, she may attempt to call Taylor's bluff, sparking a catastrophic chain reaction of exposed secrets and shattered lives. The days ahead are critical, as the battle lines are permanently drawn and the countdown to the Logan Empire's potential destruction begins with a ticking, unavoidable clock. In conclusion, the return of Taylor Hayes has injected a lethal dose of adrenaline into the already volatile atmosphere at Forrester Creations. Her cold, calculated ultimatum has cornered Brooke Logan in a way that no previous rival ever has, forcing a choice that will forever alter the landscape of Los Angeles's fashion elite. With Steffi Forrester Finnegan watching from the shadows, ready to claim her uncontested throne, the stakes have never been higher. The legacy of the Forrester and Logan families hangs in a delicate, terrifying balance, teetering on the edge of a precipice from which there may be no return. As we watch this masterful display of psychological warfare unfold, one thing is absolutely certain. The golden era of peace at Forrester Creations is dead, and the reign of ruthless, uncompromising ambition has officially begun, leaving devastation.